here we are back in the Nether again, and unfortunately this is my now third trip into the Nether to start working on the blaze farm, because I had a little ghast spawn like right in here somewhere and knocked me off right down into the lava over there last time, and then previous time I just fell from a height and died, and unfortunately all my stuff despawned. So nevertheless, we are headed back to the blaze farm because I'm going to, or to the blaze spawner, and I got a blaze farm to build. And I think what I'm going to be building is one that's based off of, it's actually a little bit of a mixture between one that Impulse SV did and another one that somebody I've followed for a long time and has some really great tutorials. His name is Nims, and so this will be a little bit of a mix of the two of them, and I'm kind of excited to show you. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over here and start building on it, and I'll probably time-lapse a good bit of it, especially this first part. The first part I'm going to do now is just the top area that will have lava and turn off the blaze spawner, so I don't have to deal with these fire resistance potions and then blowing me off the top again. It's already going to be pretty dangerous as it is, so it's probably going to be kind of entertaining to time-lapse that and watch me falling off and hopefully not die. So we shall see. I got some decent feather falling boots on, so it shouldn't be too big of a problem. But anyway, here we go. Let's head into the time-lapse, and we'll probably do it in 2 or 3 parts. We'll see how long it takes, and we'll decide then. So there you go. See you soon. Oh man, this thing, this blaze farm. On the one hand, it has been awesome. I think it's going to work really well. On the other hand, it's been a little bit of a pain in my keister. as you saw from the design, there were 3 pushers. In fact, let's turn this on and go take a quick look at it. Hopefully it's not too loud. I can always turn it down if I need to, post-production. So the 3 of them were working really well, and so you saw it goes down to a packed ice platform, or a packed ice piece in the middle here. And so I had these 2 side pushers, the sweepers, and then the pusher here on the end. And what was happening is that sweepers would work really well, but if someone spawned like right here, it'd push them right there, and this pusher wasn't long enough. So there's like 3 or 4 blocks where they could just gather, and they were gathering pretty frequently. I was surprised actually how much that was a problem. So what I did is I added a 4th pusher to this side, and now you can see that these 2 are synchronized to get into a single spot right in the center. So you can see how it's working now, and it's actually working really pretty efficiently at this point. In fact, it's probably one of the better, more efficient blaze farms I can remember having had in some time. Let me go turn this off so it's not so loud. And it's worked out really well so far. We keep getting pigments spawning in there, which might be an issue. I'm not sure how to deal with that, but we'll figure that out. Turn that off. So yeah, so we have a containment system. So right now I wish he wasn't right there. We don't have a, man, they're spawning like crazy right here. But we don't have a crusher in here just yet. I still have to do that. I have a little containment door right here, so this will close and keep the blaze up above while I'm killing down here. That way I'm not creating some issues, and then we'll also need that when we do the crusher. And so I have to build all the crusher back behind this. So as the end result, I might have to drop this down a little bit, and I've kind of got a start on the aesthetics of this. I'm not very happy with it. I'm probably going to tear most, if not all, of this out. One of the other reasons that I might do that is that we've been coming from this direction, and as you can see, I built a new kind of main transportation system to get here. And part of the reason that I built it over there rather than here, instead of building it here, I built it over there, was we have 2 sort of wither killing areas, wither skull getting areas, and so this is one. And what we'd do is we would spend a lot of time in here until we kind of exhausted that or were tired of it, and then we would cross over this bridge up here and go over to this other fortress. We have 2 fortresses right next to each other, and it was just a kind of a little, it was something that was set up really quickly, and of course just to make it functional. But now that we've been here a while and we're using it, I might as well make it just a little bit nicer. So what I ended up doing was building a new line that's going to be a railway line all the way to right here, and so this is an elevated block, so this is, do I have a piece here? Oh, I actually have a piece of orange stained clay, so I can show you. So we have it set up like this, and so the rail will be on top of this, and then that way we don't have any pigment spawning on this one. We shouldn't have any pigment spawning on there, and that way we should have few, if none, pigment kind of blocking our trail or our tracks to get here. So that's my hope. And then of course we'll build sides on it for protection and a top, and that'll be pretty spiffy. And I thought I'd come here to a new kind of central platform, and so this is going to be the main walkway from the Blaze Farm and Wither Farm over there to this one. So you can just kind of run them back and forth through here. And then what we'll also be able to do is have another rail line head off in that direction somewhere. So this will end up being sort of a west hub. And the other thing I found out, unfortunately, was that I built this and we are well behind our world border. We have a world border about 1,000 blocks out from our current kind of central courtyard, so that when 1.9 comes out, if there's something really interesting, we don't want to we wanted to leave an area close to our spawn that we could get to easily, that will all be loaded using new 1.9 world generation. So that's, I think, so this will end up being the portal to that area once that world border is moved, which will work really well. But right now it's basically useless because it sends me to another portal way down there. But nevertheless, I wanted to show you guys this. There's still a lot of work to go on the Blaze Farm. I will probably show bits and pieces of it as I work on it, especially as I build our new tunnel over here and kind of refine how that looks. This will all be a new kind of fancy welcome center here. It'll go to the killing station. We'll probably have chests and things like that for people to store their stuff in, so they don't have to worry about losing anything when they go in. And maybe I'll even pipe the the blaze rods and things like that we're killing over here into a collection station. So we only have to come right here to pick up our fuel, because we need a lot of fuel rods for Chuck's new fancy super smelter. So there you go. That's a quick look at it, and I wanted to show you quickly the modification I made from the design that you guys saw me build in the kind of quick time lapse there. So we ended up with using pretty much the Nims design, but we ended up adding a fourth sweeper, very similar to, in fact it's exactly the same as the other ones, it's just we added a fourth one and then moved the central chamber that drops down into the middle of it instead of off on the edge. So you know, maybe I'll send that to Nims after it's all done so he could see what I'd done to it, to see if that's something that's useful that he might like to use later. I don't know, we'll have to see. But there you go. So I think the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to head over to the central courtyard, and I've got a lot of work to do there. I think today I'm going to go ahead, as the other kind of half of this video, to re-landscape, I guess. I'm going to pull up all the blocks around the central courtyard and put in, you know, some cobble paths and a design. And I've got 3 more giant oak trees to make. I've built a reference tree. You guys have probably seen it in videos, but I had always intended to do 4, kind of 1 on each corner, and then a gateway actually for each set of steps that go down into the central courtyard, and just to kind of refine that whole area a little bit. So I'll meet you guys over there in just a minute. So here we are up here at the hot tub time. But this is also the best vantage point probably to see the what I'm thinking about doing down here. And so here's the kind of the main central courtyard. And one of the reasons that I need to do this is we've got a couple of paths that come off here, and so hopefully you can see my cursor on here just fine. But we've got a path that goes up to Shay's afro top there, and I wish I could turn my render distance up, but I can't unfortunately right now. But right in through here is going to be where my bridge goes off in between Shay and I's house over there, and so you can see my beacon right there. And then, yeah, the big central courtyard here, we got this cool little oak tree right there. Then I'm going to put 1 here, 1 over there, and 1 over in this area. I'll probably take this one down. Ooh, what do we see? Oh, these are little librarians down there. I should go trade a little bit, but I really don't need any emeralds at this point. Anyway, and then we have this outer ring that I'm going to pull up all that grass and do some patterns in it. And then I'm going to have a gateway structure going into through each one of these kind of walkways or steps that go down into the courtyard. So I think the idea is to really kind of gussy up the central courtyard a little bit, and to provide some structure for both my path that's going to be going back in there, and I think I'm going to have to move the mine entrance a little bit, and this entrance going up to, I think that was Luigi's. I'll have to go check to make sure, and then up to Shay's house. So yeah, there you go. I got a little bit of work to do down there. And I thought I would just show you guys this. I'm going to do a little bit before I bring you back, kind of some of the grindy stuff, like getting rid of some of this before I start growing trees, and then I'll bring it back for the trees and things like that. I think that'll be fun. So yeah, there you go. See you in just a sec. Woohoo! Can I hit each one? Oh, dang. There we go. And in typical BJW fashion, I have already been working on that central thing here for quite a bit, and I've already got a pattern going rather than showing you guys the entire thing, which I probably should have done the whole thing, but really I spent a fair amount of time playing with it a little bit and looking for a way to do something that was subtle, that incorporated some clay and some color and made it interesting, but at the same time wasn't like this complete giant colorful eyesore. And then the other thing I wanted to do is I'd mentioned putting some trees in. So come over here real quick. So this is one I had built, as like I had mentioned, as kind of a reference tree. And where I put it was right here on the outside of this inner circle, and it has always been a little bit of a pain getting around it. So what I decided to do was to actually move it to the outside of the circle and then build on the 4 sides. So I've got 3 trees grown on these 3 sides. I need to move that one back. But I thought I would go ahead and show you guys me building at least one of these pieces over here that's a similar pattern to this. So I kind of got to look at this a little bit more clearly, and I just realized that tree, dadgummit, is in the wrong spot. Shoot, I got to move it over here. That's all right, I can do that. Not a big deal. It wouldn't be the first time I've messed up and had to knock something down and do it again, so c'est la vie. So let's build this one over here. And whilst we're doing this, I think one of the things I thought might be fun to talk a little bit about, I mentioned it in my vlog. Let's see, 1, 2, I need to come off of this one right here. I had mentioned it in my vlog earlier this week, And 1, 2. Streaming. I would like to start streaming a little more often. So I've got 1, 2, 1, 2. Created a little 4x4 thing here, okay? And we have a couple people on the server that have been streaming much more frequently lately. And it's been kind of fun to watch their channels grow and just the way that they talk to the camera and the way they interact with people, to watch them grow with that. And so I think that's an interesting thing that I would like to do more of. The question has always been, and still is to everybody, a little bit to some degree. So we got to go straight in a row here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you use Twitch? Do you use Beam? What's the right platform? And I don't know that there's any clear answer, to be honest with you. They each have their benefits. I think we had andesite. They each have their benefits and their drawbacks, I guess. But the one thing that I had mentioned a little bit was the YouTube gaming platform. I think, given that all of our YouTube videos come out on the channel, I think that they're going to do it in such a way that is really going to tie in closely with the type of videos that everyone's doing on YouTube, and at least I'm hoping so. So let's see, we've got this little L shape here. Let's see, we are 2 back. Let's see if I can figure this out. Yeah, I think we had it right here. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. You know how it integrates really well with the video, or at least I hope that it will. At least that's my thought, or my hope, my dream, my belief is that those two things are going to go together really well. And so I think that's when it becomes something that we're all able to use. Oh, it's a cow. More frequently. I've already played with it a little bit, and it seems pretty easy. The question that I've still got some of the questions I have are, how is it monetized? How do you work with tips and with things like that? So we got to come straight out. I don't know the answer to that yet. Of course, nobody really does yet until they have it out, and that'll be interesting to see how that works. So I think for right now, until that happens, I think I am going to start on Twitch. I've been using Beam just as something to kind of play with a little bit. I think, did I already get both sides of that done? I did, didn't I? So I think I have all my clay in already for that one. So we'll go work on the other one over there where we keep talking about Twitch versus Beam. Actually, let's save this one because I got to tear this tree down. I keep saying today for some reason. And there we go again. This is hard to do this while you're building, to be honest with you. But I think that's something I'm actually super interested in, is more streaming. The little bit that I've done it, I've actually really enjoyed it, especially supporting other people and getting to play along with them on their streaming. And but it does take a certain amount of dedication and time and consistency. And that's the one thing I'm a little bit worried about, is the ability to keep really consistent with people so that they know that I'm going to be there, when I say I'm going to be there, and be consistent about it. So I'm still working out the logistics of what that's going to look like and how I'm going to do that. So that's why I'm not necessarily promising a date that I want to start yet, but my goal is actually July 19th would be when I want to kind of kick that off, and we'll see how that works. And the funny thing is that is the day before my birthday, so I'll spend my birthday, or at least the day before my birthday, streaming, or chunk of my day anyway. That should be interesting and fun. Am I done already? Man, this clay goes in fast. So that's going pretty quick. Maybe we'll go ahead and I can put in part of this one, I think. Let's go ahead and clear this out. But yeah, twitching, streaming, beaming, all that happy jazz. Huh. Let's put some of this guy back. So yeah, that's what we're planning on doing. And then again, I also put a new schedule. I just recently put a new schedule up on my YouTube About page. That's a little bit more, hopefully, clear and consistent. Wait, is that right? I think it goes here, here, here. Is that right? That doesn't feel right. Is that right? 1, 2, and then over. Oh, I put it on the wrong side, I think. Yeah, so the island, of course, Latchcraft, Swago Faults, and Rain Cloud are all series that I'm working on, and at some point I think it's going to have to give, but right now, as I mentioned on the update, that I really want to do that, at least one episode of the island a week, one episode of Latchcraft a week, and then one episode of one of the other ones, depending on how the week's going and what we got planned. So that's the goal. Oop, did just run out? Ran out. And we'll have to see how that goes. But that's the goal. Boom. Doing some building. Here we go. You want to tear this tree down together? Let's tear it down together. What the heck? Doot. You know, and I think one of the other things I thought I might talk about too, depending on how much time I've got into this and how much time I've got, I don't think I have much left, so this might be pretty quick, is the vlog. I think so far I've gotten some pretty good response back, which is not too big of a surprise. I think to some degree most people have been very supportive. I haven't had too much in the way of negative come out of it yet, but it's interesting because when you look at the reaction that Impulse got, or I'm sorry, Tango Tack got when he did his vlog for Minecon, it was not all negative by any stretch of the imagination. It was pretty positive for the most part, but he got some negativity as well. And one of the reasons I think that is because people had a real idea in their mind of what he looks like. And so when you change that by putting yourself out there and putting your face out there, you risk people making a judgment call because they're used to you in their mind's eye looking a certain way. So one of the things I think I decided to do was to sort of cut that short by very early on in my YouTubing experience, putting myself out there a little bit more. We'll have to see how it goes. I'm not sure yet. But so far so good. But it's an interesting thing I kind of had to work through in my brain is how's that going to work? What's it going to look like? How are people going to respond? But it feels like it was a smart thing to do earlier rather than later. But we'll have to see. But anyway, any thoughts you guys have on that, I would appreciate it. If you haven't seen it yet, please go check out my first vlog, and I'm hoping to do those once a week as well. So we'll have to see how that goes as well. But yeah, there you go. I think I'm just going to kind of keep working on this tree a little bit, if I can get up here, and move this one back, tear it down, move it back, tear it down, move it back, and finish out the courtyard here. Let's see if I can get up here before this completely falls apart. Let's see what this looks like. Can I see it? Can I see it? Not too much. Let's get up here. Bow, pow. There we go. This is a pretty good vantage point until it collapses from underneath me. So I think I'm going to go ahead and finish this bad boy out, move this tree back, maybe do a little bit more work, and then I'll come back and say goodbye for the episode. I think that'll be the end of it. Between the Blaze Farm, the new Blaze Farm, and the central courtyard here, I think that'll be the end of this episode. So there you go. We'll see you guys back here in just a minute. With the Central Plaza. I think it turned out pretty well. I'm happy with the block choices, happy with the trees. Still have a little bit of adjusting I think to do in the blocks, and I of course still have the gateways going down into the central part of it where the fountain is. Tell me what you guys think about it. Leave a comment down below. If you have any suggestions for ways to adjust it, anything like that, please feel free to let me know. And as always, thank you again for tuning in to another episode on the island. And, if you like the episode, leave a like. I'd appreciate it. And we will see you guys on the next episode from the island. Bye-bye.